You don't need to understand the whole chart to understand your life. If you just know how the kendras are wired, you know why you are burnt out, why you repeat the same relationship story, and why some problems solve themselves and why some stay for years. So in this video, we'll be going through 7 points which are very important to understand the kendras. So let's roll the intro and start with the first one. So the first one starts with the special categorization of the kendra based on the planet which defines that house. Did you know that each of these kendra houses, which are 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, no matter what sign is there, no matter the Lord, it will have some planet which will define this house. So for example, for the 1st we have Sun, for the 4th we have Moon, for 7th Venus, and for 10 we have Mercury. Now if we know these 4, how we can extract more philosophy from these kendras by grouping them. So what concept we can use? Probably in the yoga text you know about the division into Antar and Bahir. Bahir means external and Antar means internal. So also based on the guna of planets, we can divide them, because now we can make that connection. Because we know that everything which is in the Rajo guna, which is the mode of passion, it is going bahir according to the yoga text, which is meaning external. And those who are in sattva are going internal. So also in the yoga philosophy, we are talking a lot about these 3 modes of nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas. And we know that sattvic planets are Sun and Moon, so 1st and 4, they will be going inner. And 7th and 10, there are Mercury and Venus. These are Rajasic planets, and therefore they are going external. So if you have 7th and 10 activated to the number of planets or to the planetary period in which you are now, you are going into that Bahir or external direction, whilst 1st and 4 will keep you more internal. Now let's go to the second type of identification. Just like we have 2 sticks on which we can put the cloth, each house, the kendra house, we can define by 2 peripheral grahas. So one planet which exalts in that house and the other which is going down, which feels very bad, like debilitated. Now for 1st house, the 1st kendra, Sun exalts, Saturn is going down. For the 7th situation is reversed, Saturn exalts in Libra and Sun feels debilitated in the 7th. For the 4th house, Jupiter is exalted, Mars is debilitated, and for the natural sign of 10th, which is Capricorn, we know that there is Mars exalted and Jupiter is debilitated. From that, you can extract a lot of philosophy. For example, 1st house is about me, and the Sun is about self-identity. It is showing our soul, our spirit, and the 7th is about other people, and also Saturn is a movement. So the networking, the parties, everything which is related to business, we need the air, we need some wind or movement there, and Saturn is also showing the masses of people. Saturn is exalted in Libra, so 7th house is thinking about the other people. Whilst the 1st house is more about individual, about who am I first need to understand myself to be able to help others. As you can guess, it will have a big impact on our views, ethical views, and then from there it will also expand into our political view. 4th and 10 will also have this Jupiter and Mars division. Jupiter likes to be at home and study. This is the Jupiter thing, and 10th is about the show off. Mars is all about status, about leadership, about the position. So these houses will have totally different meanings. So see which kendras are occupied, which are strong, and this will give you also which planet is defining you. Are you more like Mars person or Jupiter person? Are you more Sun or Saturnian person? There is even better assigning of planets to the kendra. The Saturn will still stay in 7, but Jupiter will come from 4th to the 1st. This is something which we call the directional strength or digbala. So the fiery planets Sun, Mars, Ketu, they have directional strength in 10th. So now we know that if a 10th is strong in your chart, then this is giving you a lot of fire, a lot of stamina, because Sun, Mars, and Ketu are ruling that. 7th is about Saturn and Rahu. These planets have directional strength in the 7. 4th is about regeneration, about the night in which you sleep. The blood is doing the healing thing. Moon and Venus is having directional strength in the 4th house. And in the 1st, this is interesting because last time in the previous rule we have Sun, which was defining the 1st house because it exalts in Aries, natural sign the first sign. Now, however, for this scheme, we have Jupiter and Mercury. Jupiter is defining the intellectual power of identity, and Mercury is giving the body, because it's the earth element, which is molding our identity. Even the animals can recognize us based on our mold of the body, which is Mercury. And the computer, which is doing the thing in the head, is that Jupiterian part. If you're listening to that and you already see one of these is not in the perfect balance, one is overused, the other Kendra is starving, maybe the Artha is a little bit shaking, the Kama is in a mess. If you feel it's time to align all those things like health, relationship, career, to make it flow more naturally with more power, then there is the link under this video when you can book the consultation. I've read somewhere that Norway is best for this work and home balance. So let's see how this is in your chart by introducing you to the concept of Ayana. So each Kendra house, first, 4th, 7th, and 10th, is coming or is creating or is synced with the concept of Ayana. And Ayana means direction of life. If you have all 4 Ayanas very strong, which is the Dharma, Moksha, Kama, and Artha, then we say, oh, you are like a Purushartha, you are like a full human being which has grown up in all 4 directions. So first is your Dharma. What is your nature? What you are destined to do? What is your personality? 4th house, interestingly, is about the moksha, about the spirituality. Also, we can import here all the mental and productivity and all that self-development things, because it's the moon and Venus, which is making the catalyst for the work, for the siddhi in the 10th house. Then we have a 7th, which is the Kama Ayana of networking, which peak is relationship, when we are fulfilling our desires, we are enjoying the world, we are on the journey together with our partner. And then we have 10th house when we are performing the karma, when we try to excel in some field. So this is the Artha Ayana, which is also giving us the means to sustain ourselves, because it's in the Trikona to 2nd and 6th. So we have the finances, the work, and the siddhi, which is being master in some field. See your Kendra and then you will know your balance. Which is the stronger? Where are those planets? Which Ayana is pulling you? Do you have many planets in the 7th? Do you have many planets in 4th? This will be very important. And then you can extend your understanding by seeing the yogas, benefic, malefics, what these planets are doing. Is there a nice party, or is there some war? Is there some conflict? Is there something to work on? Now the next one is huge, because many don't know that we can use the Kendra to understand how our mind works. And this has connection to how the tides, the oceans are coming and going based on the tides. These are connected to the moon. Therefore, the planets in the Kendra will show 2 things related to the moon. One is internal, which is our mind, and second is external, which is the society. So if you have many planets in the Kendra, then we say, oh, something is going on in the mind. Then we have to divide it. Is it benefics or is it malefics? So malefics, if you have many of them in the Kendras, 1st, 4th, 7, and 10, then we can say that a lot of things is going on in your mind. Many, many, many things. This can go to extreme when person may have some challenges with addiction or other things. So if you have any benefit there, then you can keep this, you can expand its power through the mantra and things to keep the malefics in check. Now, from the external part, if malefics are in Kendra, we say that person may not have a lot of support from the society. He may either be focused on self and go through and go to the peak of the mountain by myself. There are those people who are not asking for any help, right? Or it can just show some situation when the resources are blocked because the person, the doors to society may be partially closed. Again, the benefics are very important to activate to bring that ropes which will bring you to the society where you can have a nice exchange of energy. You have some problem in the chart. Some people will have to work on this for many years, like decades, and for others, the things is working on their own. The repair is coming just like that. And what do you think? What would be the planet which is showing that automatic repair or automatic remedy? Would that be connection to Jupiter? Maybe it's exalted, maybe the Navamsha. Some are saying then Vargatam, Pushkara, and things like that. But the answer is different. It is when the planet is in the Kendra. If a helping planet for any problematic position in the chart is in the Kendra, you don't need to do anything. The things are solving themselves. The things are already there. So you may have some problem in life and automatically in the same time Either you are doing something else which is repairing the problem, or others people are doing it for you. Or you have a situation in which the problem is not expanding, but it's automatically repaired. If you think about it, there are those people, there are those situations which are working like that, and in their charts, the helping Graha is in the Kendra. Now the last one, we were talking about that in a few videos before about the boundaries. So Kendra define our boundaries, and especially the lords will be protecting the doors, right? So are your doors open, and are you vulnerable to all people coming to your life and maybe create something which we don't want, or everything is nicely closed, you are safe in your room? And what is the logical foundation for that? It's coming from the fact that Sun, Moon, 1st and 4th, and Venus and Mercury, 7 and 10, these natural Bhava Karaka, the significator of those houses, which are generic for everyone, these are the same. They are like inner planets. So they are not outer like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. They are the inner. So this is our world. So therefore we say that everything in our life can be defined by one of these 4 kendras. If you think about this, like let's say 6th house of celibacy, it's coming 12 from the 7th. It's like lack of relationship. If you say 9th, it's about the specialization. It's a 12 from the 10. So something you do before the work. If you will say 5th house is about the mantra, it's 2nd from the 4th. It's a mana traya, something which is protecting the mind. Mind is in the 4th. Even if you say the depths, right? Depths are 12 from the 9th. It's like remnants of the past. But the past, the 9th house, is related also to the 1st house. It's trikona from the 1st. It's a presence related to your identity. So it's coming again from the 1st house. So everything in your life can be reduced to one of these kendras. It's good to know that, to understand your nature. If there is some problem, it's good to know where is the helping planet and activate that in your life. The kendra is everything which is happening in your house. The other are just modifiers. The trikona 5th and 9th may lead the kendra to Raja Yoga. The dushtana 6th, 8th and 12th may cause financial problems when connected to this kendra, coming from that specific direction of that house. Now, kendra is very important to build the Navamsha chart. If you would like to learn more about this, then please consider watching this one.